scared.
Todo mundo olhando pro cristal lá, mano. Caralho, que loucura da porra, velho.
Let's go.
Vamos, Chocobo!
Guess we're all ready.
Agora ele vai deixar a gente entrar ali, será?
That can't be Rutherford, can it?
Ele mesmo. Ué.
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your... Please, Field Marshal.
This won't take long.
Eita, vambora.
You're right. It won't. Men.
Não demorou mesmo. Caralho. Você é louco, mano.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just at...
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying, but I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the... It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am. Or the urgency of the message I bring.
Caralho.
My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What
Manda
do you
papo.
stand to gain from...
Cuida, conto.
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones,
Valeu pela adesão na Ponosa.
I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things, but in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed word, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat, and I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an out...
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
Quem será que ele vai enviar? Será que é o Gav? O Otto?
My Lord Marquis, your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his...
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to... I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. Someone like Quentin.
Quem
Can
tem?
convince him.
Vamos ver. Pare com quem tem fardos de Gautland. Deixa eu vir aqui. Se a gente já finalizar essa missão, a gente já dá start em mais uma. Entrega as caudas de Wyvern Silvestre para Apócrates.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
Oi.
You did indeed.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh,
It's no trouble.
Blam 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 blam. Ué, John, chega aí que tem um velho conhecido teu ali na salinha.
Your Highness, would you do me the honor?
No. It is
No, our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives, all because I was weak. I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt, but were I to meet with him again and see in his eyes what I have become,
Then that is all the more reason to do it. Test your resolve. Prove to yourself and to him.
I must at the very least offer him. Very well then.
Follow me.
Bora. Vamos ver se essa determinação tá em dia, John.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. But they do not define it, just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
Porra, a flor vai murchar então.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
O cara recusou um presente.
Define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him. For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tails. I shall plant their seeds.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard with...
What's this?
A stolas quill. Or more precisely, my stolas quill. 'Tis said that an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour. So consider this my wish for you, that one day you may put down your sword and pick up...
Well, when that day comes, thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place.
Botar ela lá no meu mural lá. Deixa ela lá no mural. Pena de estolas e amuleto da luz. Diminui o tempo de recarga de gigaflama. Legal. Beleza. Já dá pra pegar mais uma, hein? E tá diminuindo o número de quests. Tem coisa aqui. Depois a gente vai lá, deixa eu já... Uma questzinha bem aqui, ó. Ah, o Joshua.
Ah, Clive.
Planos e vontades.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say...
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will. Or his will. In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle.
Caralho.
After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the duchy yet remained.
And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but...
É claro.
Of course.
Of course.
I know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave.
Fale com Cyril. Onde que fica o Cyril? Tá lá em cima, mas vamos falar com quem tem fardos de Gautland. Que é aqui, ó. Vou pegar essa Polina Jorabel. Caralho, sai atravessando o bagulho como se não tivesse nada, cara. Como é que pode, velho? E aí, meu mano?
Quentin, I have a proposal.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotan. Go on then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me...
Coisa simples, mano.
I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you want, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves. Who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring... I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us? Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for...
Não por muito tempo, que daqui a pouco eu vou resolver esse BO aí. Volte para o esconderijo e fale com Byron. Pô, isso que é foda da quest, mano. Tipo, é você, essa punhetagem de ficar indo pra lá e pra cá, pra lá e pra cá. Porra, é um saco isso. Ainda mais quando, tipo, de início é de boa, tá ligado? Mas depois que você...
Uncle,
tá fazendo isso por muito tempo, começa a se tornar um
Field
saco.
Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Of course he has. I didn't doubt you.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port
É
Isolde.
uma história sendo interessante.
They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution. And I suggested a certain imperial...
One of your...
Master Quentin would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier. Eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quentin can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion.
Mais generosa das doações?
I had some
cenário.
did help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward, Rockford, from...
It was more of a hat.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased she had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush. Now, I must be getting back. Join us there at your earliest convenience.
Of course, Uncle.
Beleza. Ah, o jogo já me deu TP direto pra lá já.
And how?
You find another bloody room.
Putz, pulei sem querer.
I have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
Perhaps I might suggest an alternative. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of... Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company are you expecting him to keep? The man's a
criminal? How? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Blood.
Once more onto the brief.
Putz, vai render essa briga aí, hein, cara. Porra.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the throne. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might... And to do that, we must convince those in power,
Agora é F,
the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is... There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that... If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will... The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hand, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the sight. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you... Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talent. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall, and there is no better Crandall than you. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will.
GG. 3 é demais. Pacto da Triade e Amuleto da Escuridão. Eita, agora quem pegou foi o Aranha. Tá, vamos pegar outro aqui, ó.
What do you think that thing is?
Bararam, bam, bararam, baram. Ah, aquela mina lá, ó.
Sid, do you have a moment?
Posso?
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. She found some way and something else. Records from a Waluda prison. Seems they were keeping a lot.
How did she come by such...
Finding bearers always was her strong point, and it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the masterless. Bearers no one would miss. And even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them. When ether started lapping at the walls, the jailers fled.
Eita, chamou pro X1!
To come along next.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from traveling to Walud, I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather risk shipwreck on the Shadow Coast than leave them to starve.
Então nós vamos juntos.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
Eita!
But we travel together.
Raposo levou essa.
We stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many as we can, and we leave.
Thank you, Sid. There was a name in the prison register. A name from my past. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. A gifted soldier, and the closest thing I had to family.
Ah, porra!
Captive in that place.
He must be very important to you.
He was. Is.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit walls, just beyond the portcullis. We should head there as quickly as we can. I only pray there are still bearers alive to save.
As do I,
Que isso? Caralho, chamou pro X1 de 15 mil, cara. Que brutalidade é essa? Aquela cripta que tava fechada, ó. Cara, o cara tá com 29 mil pontos, mano.
Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dark. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashyyyk. I need to hurry.
Cara, ficou rico. Caralho, 750 de XP.
O trem chamou-nos X1 e atropelou. Agora o trem passou. Podem prosseguir.
Por um minuto eu achei que ia vir um trem, mano. Sai, porra. Você é doido, chega. Só falta 4 horinhas. Então, mano. Uma semana de live. Sinistro, né? Olha quem tá aqui.
There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates. No, it's a different story inside, though.
Você já provou.
With the Kashyyyk. Most likely guards left behind when the wardens ran. If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he...
Don't give up hope just yet. But let's move. Let me check the ground floor. The ether stick is there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck, Sid.
Provou e ainda continua lutando. Aqui a gente não para, né, velho? Usar a chave. Abriu, ó. Então tava trancado por conta da quest. Tá trancado, na real. Agora liberou aqui, ó. Poxa, desculpa, mas eu não vou ler, mano. Tô muito cansado. Desculpa. Vou fazer toda essa parte de baixo aqui primeiro, depois qualquer coisa a gente sobe. Esse ataque do Odin é bonito, mas dano que é bom nada. Ele até dá dano, mas só depois. Tem que estacar o bagulho, tá ligado? Tem que estacar aquela barra lá do lado esquerdo, ó. Você estaca ela pra cima que manda o golpezão, aí já era, meu irmão. Aí é bruto.
They were feeding bearers to it. This is even worse.
Caralho, tava alimentando algum bicho com portador. Ela é muito... É uma arma muito boa pra poder lidar com multidões, tá ligado? Quando tem muito bicho, ela é boa pra caramba. E agora é a parte de cima. Quando tiver muito bicho, eu uso ela. Não dá pra entender nada. Não tinha nada aqui, só tinha um guilzinho. Ó, tem 4 caras aqui, ó. Se liga. Hit kill nos 4, velho. Só que aquela parada tem que estar estacado.
No lock downstairs.
Alô, minha boa.
This place was more than just a prison.
Aí o trampo é estacar ela, tá ligado?
I know. I've been reading some of these documents, and bearers die every day in service of their masters, but this, pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And all in order to bring about, and not just those who could fight, but the elderly and those who wouldn't, or couldn't, were disposed of.
I'm afraid it means they were fed to the monstrosity they kept.
Then we're too late. And I was a fool.
Don't say that.
A key, but it doesn't fit any of the...
Ah, é naquela fechadura lá de baixo que tava bem trancada. Provavelmente pra gente batalhar contra o monstro.
Finish up here, then come and find me when you're ready.
All right.
Deve ser um monstro doideiro, hein? Agora vai dar pra abrir aquilo ali, ó. Foi.
Let's see what we can find down here.
Peraí, deixa eu dar uma bisoiada aqui. Baúzito. Baúzito com ambar. Coisa boa, hein?
A survivor. She sounds close.
Tem uma menininha aqui, mas espera aí. Já volto pra falar com ela. Sobrevivente.
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone?
Some of the guards, they're still here. But everyone else was
Thank the
Foram devorados pelo monstro.
But I'd rather we didn't linger. Are you ready?
Ready when you are. You poor thing.
Did Jadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. He must have sent you. He promised to free... Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he?
Jadwick.
Tá porra. Tá porra, meu irmão.
Monsters...
We have to get out of...
Doris, keep the girl.
All right. You put that bear...
Bora. Caralho, olha ali.
I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers.
Pô, mano, eu acho que eu vou botar o poder do Bahamut, hein. Papo 10, velho. Eu acho que eu vou me sair melhor com ela. Tô mais acostumado. Ainda mais no 1 vs 1. Fera Kuza, rank A, é uma caçada, ó. Perfeito. Pô, mano, que isso? Eu fiz a esquiva, mano. Putz, era pra eu ter pulado ali. O filho da puta deu o dano indo e voltando.
Thanks, boy.
Queria tentar meter um parry. Caralho, meti uns parry muito bruto agora, hein? Caralho, meti uns parry muito bruto nele. quebrou. Excellent! Você derrotou a ameaça notória. GG, mano. Trilhão de Bemute e meteorito. Caçada completada. Pô, com Titan eu tô muito mais acostumado a jogar, velho.
Sid, are you hurt?
Muito melhor, a gameplay flui bem melhor. Oxe, um livro?
No.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate... He was here. Do you think that creature...
Ah, provavelmente a criatura comeu ele.
Fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe, thanks...
Chadwick.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sac...
No. Of course. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can...
Algum tempo depois...
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering.
She is. Slowly but surely. I thank the flames we found her.
I know. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out how he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Heidemer. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a brother.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past. If you don't mind.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill, and we were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easy. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Heidemer is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick...
Thank you, Doris. We'll be counting on you.
Boa. Mestre de si. Metade já, hein? Do level. Alento da escuridão, Gungnir. Diminui o tempo de recarga de Gungnir, que é o que eu tava usando. Poder usar ela mais vezes. Interessante. Bram, 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 bram. Acabamos de matar esse daqui, ó. Fera Kuza. Beleza. 10, 20, 30 caçadas num total. Caralho. A gente já fez 22. Um negócio aqui com ela.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Volto mais tarde se ainda estiver on. Valeu, aranha. 2365.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
How are you doing? Quick look.
Sob nova direção.
Think you can help?
Beleza.
It's hundreds of leagues away.
Cara, eu acho que eu vou pra principal. Depois eu talvez... Na verdade, eu não sei se vai dar pra fazer essas quests secundárias, cara. Não tô ligado se vai dar pra fazer essas secundárias aqui. Eu não sei se algum personagem vai de base, tá ligado? Vou dar uma pesquisada aqui. Até achei coisa aqui, mas achei vídeo. Ah, vambora. Continuar fazendo aqui. Nazaire, rompe maldição.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Curse Breakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability. I was hoping you could oversee this one's
Jogo grande pra caralho, Luffy. Muito grande, mano.
Why this one?
Massivaço mesmo. Mas é muito bom, mano.
Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of...
Ei, como é que tá a gameplay por aí, velho?
Slavers to the sword. But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you...
Parei com 12 horas e estou jogando Diablo agora.
You might be better placed to recognize the traits.
Eu tô desde o dia que lançou, mano, só no Final Fantasy XVI.
Sounds reasonable.
So you happy to oversee the boys' test then?
O meu tempo é seu, vambora.
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that
Depois vou zerar. Vai fazer de pouquinho em pouquinho que dá-lhe.
No time like the present, eh?
É porque eu tô full focado mesmo. Mas eu acho que a melhor coisa é isso aí mesmo. Joga um pouco, pá. Joga um bom pedaço, depois vai lá. Depois joga mais um pedaço e assim vai. Rola algum romance nesse game? É o que? Uma pergunta? Bram, 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 bram. Sim. Fale com Cyril. Tá por aqui então, né? Ah, tá aqui, ó. O bagulho tá coladinho no outro. Porra, mas o desenrolar da história que é foda. Ainda mais desses dois aí, nossa senhora. Dá até uma agonia. Não vou falar pra não te dar spoiler.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey
Tava vendo?
is overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from...
Yes, I have it.
Live borracha fraquíssima.
If you would do us the honor, my lord.
Meus queridos filhos, sei que estou exigindo muito de vocês nesta guerra que se aproxima, mas não vejo outra forma de garantir um futuro para o nosso grão-ducado e nossa família. Mesmo que vençamos e conseguimos derrotar os selvagens e reconquistar o sopro do Draco, a ameaça da praga ainda é iminente. Só podemos passar por tudo isso se todos de Rosário lutarem unidos. Tem alguns planos para nos ajudar, mas há muitos obstáculos, e vocês provavelmente terão que continuar meu trabalho. Sei que vocês têm a força, e provavelmente... meu Deus do céu. Peraí, me perdi. Vocês provavelmente terão que continuar meu trabalho. Sei que vocês têm a força, a coragem e a determinação para isso. Será uma difícil herança, então lhes ofereço outra. Lembre-se do amor e da confiança que sinto por vocês. Seu pai.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive
the day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of? His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer, the complete emancipation of... But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magic
mano, dá até agonia, velho.
With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father, but one at least remains. And she has come.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one whom...
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, your...
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
Vambora, vamos lá se encontrar com ela.
My lord, Your Grace.
Decidi.
I hardly... I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix, and... Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope...
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude. For your service to our house.
I merely did my duty, as any proud reserve.
My lady, perhaps you could what exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
Incompleto, então.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles. Not these, but with His Grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed. I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you.
Thank you.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, in fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to
Porra, então ela vai dar certinho a localização.
Rosfield, it would surely make your...
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
Vambora. Será que é uma caçada? Mate Simurg na via do Titã. Cadê? Tá bem aqui, ó. Vou pegar esse TP aqui que vai ajudar a gente a chegar lá mais rápido, mais veloz. Putz, eu tenho que reabastecer minhas poções, mano. Pô, a fight você com o Titã aqui, pelo menos, eu acho bem mais rápido, é bem mais dano que dá, tá ligado?
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
Opa! Um hipoglifo preto, velho. Level 40.
The House Rosfield.
Ué, cansou? Oxi! Caralho. Ué, a postura dele voltou. Oxe, ele resetou. Por que caralhos ele resetou, mano? É como se eu tivesse me distanciado dele e voltado. Mano, aí não, jogo. Aí não, velho. Aí é feião, pô. Ah, mano, na moral, velho. Porra, sacanagem, cara. Eu fiquei puto agora, mano. Porra, sacanagem. Ele tava quase morrendo, cara. Não sei nem que jogo é, mas desconsidero muito. Que isso, mano? Isso aqui é jogão. Já chegou do trabalho, amor? Morre, glifo. Caraca. Tem chave.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
Já cheguei, tô aguardando alguém. Tô chegando. Olha lá o contador, falta pouco. Falta pouco! Já faltou mais. Nem eu tô acreditando que falta tão pouco, velho. Comprou um negócio na loja aqui.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Anything else? A fine choice. Anything else?
Você e mais um pouco. Quê? Você e mais um pouquinho. E você vai chegar lá na casa do caralho. Não entendi nada. Faz 2 dias que faltavam apenas 2 só. Mas acho que hoje os caras não estacam mais não, cara.
The Griffin is slain now.
Era 2 horas de um sonho. Duas horas e um sonho foi foda.
It's just as your father described it.
Não!
As horas vão passando e horas vou estacando.
Não, não é possível, velho. Sai. Sai, eu não acredito nesse trem. Esse trem é fake. Esse trem é
If
fake.
you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith.
Fake trem. Falei que era fake trem. Falei que era
The
fake.
armbands are complete. Pray, take the heart.
Ah, ela conseguiu preparar as braçadeiras.
Or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion, and the graven vines encircling the stone.
Assustou por um momento sim, Naponoso.
Bonds.
A Aline já tava preparando já o seu velório, mano. Se você estacasse.
We had enemies both inside and outside, enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be...
And only if we stood together, as phoenix and shield, as brothers in arms. Only...
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity...
Estava preparando o seu velório meu! Eu sou a vítima aqui, Aline.
It was a promise that he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
A Aline quer ver o calvo mais da hora da Twitch lá, não deixa. Que isso, eu não sou calvo? Pergunta a Aline, amor, eu sou calvo? Olha o que você vai responder.
The Undying told me that after father died, mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them.
Vítima sou eu, sim, você é calvo. Olha só! Caralho, mano! Caralho! Caralho!
I was but a lowly servant. Your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands.
Calvo com a cabeça deformada é o fone.
And his hopes for your future.
Fiquei triste agora.
The disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew.
Cara, vocês só me batem, mano.
I tried to warn your father, but
quando eu chegar do curso, eu espero que você esteja aqui na minha cama usando roupa do Homem-Aranha.
And thank the family you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. No what else to do, I followed the griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing.
Vou ir usando a teia. Joga a teia nela.
Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that his grace's had been recovered.
Ai, caralho.
And that his sons were alive and well.
Calvo-aranha, calvo-aranha.
On behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
Ele faz live e só apanha.
Thank you, my lord.
Ai, mano.
For coming back to us. For giving my
Quem estacar mais, eu vou desejar tudo de ruim pra essa pessoa, cara. Que isso, mano. Desejar tudo de bom. Braçadeiras do primeiro rei. Tá, porra. É um equipamento? Caralho, o bagulho é forte, hein? Dá 50 de vida, cara.
Bom dia, galera. Bom dia, galera. Vamos que vamos!
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest
10 dias na pronúncia.
to your father's
Tá foda.
atop Hawk's Cry Cliff. Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we
A Aline vai lá fazer live também. É deixar a Aline fazendo live aqui jogando Final Fantasy, mano.
For it too is a part of your inheritance.
Jogando The Bind of Isaac, tomando vários John Cena no ouvido.
In your hands, than perched upon some lonely rock.
Amor, vem me ajudar a fazer live, amor. Eu deixo você streamar The Bind of Isaac aqui. Tá tendo DR no chat? Não.
Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Tem uma quest aqui, mas essas quests fora da cidade eu vou fazer depois. Visite o memorial do Arquiduque Elwin. Ah, é aqui no cantinho o memorial dele. Petição pra Aline fazer live na casa do Igor. Aí. E aí, Mogralvin? Boa tarde, mano. Como é que tá? De boa? O que tá achando do game? Bom pra caralho, velho. Muito bom, mano.